Hi there, Charles.
Hello?
Yeah, this is the high review.
Hi. Hello. Review.
Yeah. How are you doing? All right.
I'm doing pretty good. You slid a Fairport Convention person at me, I see, Lee.
How would you figure that out?
I don't know. I can read. I'm
Unlike
the
some
guy.
people.
Exactly. And I can pronounce the name of the band. And I like Fairport Convention. So
Yeah.
that should probably give away this review. Show's over, folks.
Yep.
No, I'm just teasing. Who are we doing today? But he happened to be in Fairport Convention.
It was Ian Matthews, and the album is called "If You Saw Through My Eyes," which is his first solo album. And I could have picked this, or I could have picked 3 others that he did, or I could have picked 3 others from other projects other than Fairport. So it was just a matter of I decided to pick this, and it was as good of a choice as any of the others. And I had a lot of, I will say really quickly before you say,
go ahead.
I had a lot of his albums. I was trying to be a completist, and he did too much for me to be a completist, but I got at least 8 or 10 of his albums. And anyway, go on.
There had to be some in the 15-cent bin, though. Because I read he was living hand to mouth at one point. He was really struggling. Had to be some that were easy to find, Lee.
I actually, a couple of my favorites that I had, actually one of my favorites I got for free. But there were a few that I paid a pretty penny for, and then there were others that were around $5 or $6.
Okay, well,
so he actually wasn't one. Well, except for one that I got on CD for $2, but he was more of a $5 or $6 item for me.
Anyway. Well, before we dive into the Ian Matthews goodness here, I will say this: there has to be some Sandy Denny solo albums, and why have we not reviewed any of those?
Good question, and the answer is yes, we shall, and yes, there are.
Yeah. There has to be, because she guested on this album.
Yeah, and
I'm a mega fan of hers. Well, I don't know, like, I say mega fan, like, I don't know, like, a lot about her, but everything I've ever heard her on, I'm enamored with. So I guess, in a way, that still makes me a fan, right?
Yeah. I am not the biggest fan of the stuff that she did with Led Zeppelin, only because, to me, it seemed like she was just put in to do it, but it was not necessarily, even though it was probably influenced by her, and that's why they wanted her in it, I actually prefer her stuff.
I could see that.
Yeah. But if some people thought she only did blase hippie folk, which is really a stupid comment, then they're wrong.
I plead the fifth, stupid motherfuckers that said that, or motherfucker.
In fact,
it wasn't me that said it, nor am I picking somebody that says that.
Yeah,
you have a right to your opinion.
I'm just going to say I about blew my gasket.
I know. I listened to it. That was before my days of even being known as a human entity. But I had heard it after I met you guys, though. I didn't listen to it before, or nobody ever listens to that fucking show ever. but I did listen to it once I met you guys. I did some stuff. And you know what it made me do, Lee?
What?
Because I always just skipped over the songs on that show.
Yeah.
I went and found Fairport on my own and was like, this is pretty good.
Thank you. You know, because
it is. It's pretty good.
Let's say this. I told people about that situation, and all of them, they defended someone until they heard that, and they went, "Oh, that's just absolutely stupid. No way I can defend it."
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they were good, especially with her in the group.
Yeah.
Later on, they didn't have her, but with her in the group, they were really good. But I mean, I've also gotten heat from that said person over James Taylor, and I like quite a bit of James Taylor. Thank you very much.
Hey,
another artist.
I apologize that we haven't done enough of him.
We haven't done any, but that is in that Rolodex, folks. I mean, me and Lee, we have so much in the chute, and then we forget. And then it's like, oh yeah, we haven't done James Taylor yet. I enjoy some James Taylor, and I know Lee does too, damn it.
But when I do Carly Simon, I'll probably make the other guy do it just because I want to hear him squirm. But
yeah.
Anyway,
even though I don't hate all Carly Simon stuff, but
I like some of it. But I'll pick one that is
that's
purposefully
really,
not one that will be liked.
Right. The good news is you will know exactly what that person wouldn't like, so it's easy to find. You know what I mean?
Except in one case, I picked one group on purpose, and then they liked it so much that it got me angry. But that's something else.
That also happened at the Christmas episode I picked with the Shags, where I couldn't defend it, and we were supposed to be trolling. And
but no, I'm talking.
That happens.
But even there,
that happens.
Even there, that was more forgivable than what happened.
Yeah.
In this other case.
Oh, at Fairport, yeah, no.
No.
And then
some
the
other
other
group
one. Oh.
That I picked on purpose as a piece of shit that they liked.
Well, Lee, you gotta understand. I mean, to give the dog a bone, not everybody agrees on everything. So it happens with us occasionally. Not always. Usually, I turn you on to great shit.
Yeah, usually you do. You're not.
I do really well.
You're not a shit.
For being Captain Caveman, I do my job. I usually turn you on stuff.
You're actually more conniving than a Captain Caveman, but
maybe,
you're a little more smart.
I might play up that angle, but you turn me on to good stuff too. And to be fair to our I could say I'm assuming yours as well, our ex-partner. We're just busting your balls, man. Good luck. You keep doing your thing, man.
Yeah.
And much love to you with your Night Ranger loving ass. Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind mentioning him as long as I don't give him the credit by name. Anyway, okay.
Well, Night Ranger should have gave it away. All right.
Yeah.
So we're on back to Ian Matthews. Ian with 2 eyes, folks.
Yeah, and during the time that he did this album, it was only 1 eye. And then a couple of albums later, he did 2 eyes, and then he went back to 1 and 2, and he kept going back and forth.
But not on Apple Music. And I thought it was actually Lane Matthews. I couldn't even find it. And then I had to go back to Lee's message, and I found it again. I'm like, it's already on here. Oh, it's Ian with 2 eyes. It looked like an L. It was confusing.
Sorry, it was weird.
Yeah. It was very confusing. So, if you know Fairport Convention, which me and Lee do, I'm assuming a few of you out there that are listening, the 4 or 5 people, you know some Fairport Convention. So basically, this is going to be a slightly folky type album, right, Lee?
I would kind of say yes.
Kinda. For the most part. A little bit.
Yeah.
But, but it's going to be interesting. I think I'll take a few dips and turns here and there a little bit, but I will say though, if you're into like meathead metal like Danzig, this probably, which I like a little Danzig by the way, but I'm just saying, if you're into stuff like that, you're probably not gonna like this.
Yeah.
You're probably not.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we all can't have brains. I mean, me and Lee can.
Yeah.
So,
anyway.
All right. Let's get into it.
Okay. Want me to start?
Let me take it first.
Okay.
On this here.
All right. So then that way, when we do the next episode, I'll be the starter. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that would be the one relief for you. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Desert Inn. What do you think of that one?
Ironically, there was also a hotel in Vegas called Desert Inn at one point. This song is like a pleasant breeze blowing on a spring day. Cliches aside, song is actually pretty light and has a nice little sound going for it. Old Ian doesn't necessarily have a lot of fire to his voice. Neither does the song for that matter. But for a light little folky song that nods a bit to some country, this is a decent little track. He does try to bring it a little bit towards the end, which was pretty cute. So not too bad, this one. I kind of enjoyed Desert Inn.
Right on. I put, this is like a different type of Neil Young, but with a better vocalist. It also reminds me a tiny bit of the band. I like it better than most of that group's songs.
Thank you.
It's a low-key but well-done tune. Okay.
Thank you for never having us do them. I'm not fucking. I think that I'm not into the band. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God you brought them up. I'm glad you don't like them either. All right.
But one member did a great solo album. That
Robbie Robertson?
No.
No.
But we will do his album later.
Okay. All right. As long as we do Sandy Denny solo.
It's much better than the whole group. Anyway, the next song, Hearts. Okay, it's a little bit like an acoustic song by heart. I can enjoy more than quite a few of the Buckingham Nicks. No, Oh wait. Oh, I don't know if I meant that I enjoyed a few of those songs or I enjoy it more. I'll just say what I put because I was drinking when I wrote it. I can enjoy more than quite a few. No, okay. I probably meant I can enjoy it more than quite a few of the Buckingham Nicks version of Fleetwood Mac.
Makes sense.
I do like the musicianship on it. It's good for what it is. I won't skip it. But I like some of his other songs better. Okay, what do you think?
Very light fare here, but nothing wrong with that, as that is his style. And he does it well. Sandy Denny. Oh man, she sounds great on those backing vocals. The guitar solo is really nice here, provided by Mr. Tim Renwick. This sounds like something the Eagles would try, but it's good. I highly enjoyed this one, Hearts.
Okay, what do you think of Never Ending?
Keith Tippett. I'm assuming that's one of your favorites, Lee, is it?
How would you know of him?
Well, I mean, do my homework.
He was on this album, right?
Yeah.
I didn't really remember that, but yeah, I do like him.
Wow. He lays down the piano on this track, and it's quite good. For those folks that don't know, Keith Tippett is an English jazz pianist. I guess is the right way to say it. That's why I knew Lee would probably like him. We get an interesting guitar figure.
Wow.
Yeah, we get an interesting guitar figure played on this one as well. But the standout is the piano in this track for me. It's extremely well played. It is more mellow gold here. This is the kind of music to listen to when you need to unwind. But yet it's also interesting and not sleep-inducing. It's hard to explain. Mellow music that keeps you engaged. Well done on this for that.
Okay, I put another one I don't love, but I can't help but notice how well they play on it. I can deal with it, but I much prefer some of his other songs. Okay.
Boo!
Yeah.
It's got Keith Tippett, damn it.
I like him better, but anyway,
Yeah.
I won't make you review one of his albums because you'll have to listen to a long song. But anyway, no, actually, as long as you're not against saxophone, that's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, just kidding. Yeah. Anyway, Reno, Nevada. We're back on track with a really good song. I could imagine an early Bob Seger doing it.
Yeah.
This is quite great. What do you think?
The cover of an American folk artist named Richard Farina. And did you know that, Lee?
I know of Richard Farina.
Yeah, this is his song. And this one is about as rocking as we've gotten thus far on the album. Some excellent bass work. That's why, interesting. Bob Seger. Some excellent bass work on this one. Also has a pretty jam and guitar solo from old Tim Renwick. It does sound a bit derivative of David Gilmour, so I'm assuming that's why Roger Waters relied on him a lot in his solo years. This was a nice, refreshing change of pace, as I was wondering if we would get something that isn't so mellow, and they delivered here. This one was yet another good one. So come on, Ian, keep bringing it on.
Yep, and Tim Renwick played with Pink Floyd during their live gigs when Roger Waters was.
No.
You knew that?
Yeah.
Man, you're knowing as much as me. Okay, that's fine. Okay, just kidding. Anyway,
I'm not allowed, folks.
It's okay. Anyway, what about the song Little Known?
Back in the mellow land we go, and this one is another good mellow song, but now this one I could see falling asleep to, unfortunately. The guitar solo ran through a wah, so it was pretty good, I guess. There isn't anything wrong with the song per se, but I could see it being played to insomniacs who don't respond to strong drugs at the same time. You have to be in the mood to listen to this one, is how I'd call it.
All right, I put, this is interesting and I like it. More of a deep track, but very well done, almost like the group Pentangle. Another one of the better songs on the album. Okay. Now for Hinge.
Can we just do these two like in one shot? And you do Hinge 1 and 2, and then I'll do Hinge 1 and 2. Because they're basically the same shit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes more sense.
But I will mention them in order. Okay,
yeah,
Hinge.
Yeah.
Okay, it's short, but I dig it. Very cool tune with a chamber ensemble. Making, my kind of bag. Different than the rest of the album, but nothing wrong there. And then there was Hinge Reprise, which is, I like this shorter a cappella version too. Okay, what do you think?
Hinge 1, instrumental lead-in, is what I'm believing this is. It's hard to tell if this is an actual orchestra or maybe modulated or some kind of shit like that. I can't tell, but it sounds pleasant enough. Nothing really to write home about on its own. I'm guessing like this was like the vision of what would be the big song live or something, but then it goes into Hinge 2. I will say Matthews almost sounds like Robin Gibb on this one here. And this fucking makes no sense at all. Like, you have that orchestrated part and it leads into this shit? Pointless. Actually, both this and part one are useless in totality. What the hell was he thinking here? Did not care for Hinge 1 nor 2.
Okay, what do you think of Southern Wind?
We get our buddy back here, Lee. Keith Tippett back on piano again. Sandy Denny provided piano on the other tracks with piano, except that other one and this. And there is a noticeable difference here. This guy is a solid player. It's another one that finally has a little more to it than the typical light form. We get some solid backing vocals, which has a little of that Floyd feel to it, which makes more sense as Doris Troy was one of the vocalists. You know, remember her on Dark Side of the Moon, Lee? Remember her? This one has a gospely southern rock feel to it. Similar a bit to Shine a Light by the Stones. This one redeems the album a bit for me from the previous two clusterfuck tracks. This is one of the better ones in the album to my ears.
Okay, I put It's Okay. Like one of those Neil Young songs I don't love, but don't skip either. But Ian Matthews is a better singer than Neil Young. It's decent. Okay.
So's Oscar the Grouch. She's a better singer than Neil Young.
Well, I think
like
so.
Trash. Yeah.
Anyway, now for It Came Without Warning. This is okay. Sort of one of the better songs on the album, but very deep cut. It's alright. What do you think?
This one has an almost Bakersfield country type feel to it. Sandy Denny's back, and she sounds great on them backing vocals. That's why I want to review some Sandy Denny. And Ian isn't a half bad singer in his own right. Definitely better than Neil Young. I don't know about Oscar the Grouch. The backing vocals are arranged at one point. This sounds similar to Octopus's Garden a bit, which is a nice little touch. Mellow, but for this guy, it's pretty hard rocking. I dug this one. Not necessarily my favorite, but it is passable for me. I love the dreamy elements in it.
Right on. What do you think of You Couldn't Lose?
This one sounds like a cross between Jim Croce and Cat Stevens. There's some cool little guitar work on here, but honestly, at this point, the mellowness is starting to do the opposite for me, and my mind was drifting off when I was listening to it. The effect was getting to be a bit too much for me on this point of the album, which is a shame, as I do hear something good. But the mellowness was getting me antsy. I will say for me, just because I can't get overloaded with mellow, this album seems to be one that would be good to cherry pick and maybe not listen to in one sitting. So far, I've liked the album, but at this point, it was starting to drag with You Couldn't Lose.
Okay, I really like these kinds of songs by Ian Matthews. It's one of the best songs on the album. Very low-key and intimate, but great. I dig it. Okay, and now for Morgan the Pirate.
Morgan the Pirate.
Yeah, I had a stuffed toy named Morgan, and I called him the Pirate. Anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
This sounds somewhat structurally like a Leonard Cohen tune, but only somewhat. Under Ian Matthews' touch, it sounds like himself. I do like it, and I'd never skip it, but it sounds a little one-note structurally. I still enjoy it, but it's not my very absolute favorite song here. What do you think?
Another Richard Farina cover here. And I can't believe I'm saying Richard Farina, but I did. It's the second one. And thankfully, it is as well, it's good because it's not that mellow. Matter of fact, we get a little bit of tempo on this one. The guitars aren't like thrashing or anything, just some acoustic strumming, but the bass and the drums drive this one along nicely. And the acoustic guitar solo is outstanding. See, a few more of these and a mellow one or two less, and maybe this album would be necessary listening.
Okay, what do you think of the last one, Throw My Eyes?
Well, of course, we go out with some mellow gold. Wouldn't have it any other way, I suppose. Sandy Denny is strong on this one. It makes me kind of want to hear her instead of this dude. But hey, it's his album, not hers. Her piano work isn't nothing to sneeze at either. So while the mellowness can get a bit boring at times, not here. This is a well-done duet between Ian and Sandy Denny. Probably the best mellow one on here, and overall a pretty good record, especially if you're into mellow folk style jams. If not, you probably would hate it. And or be like me and listen to it in bits and pieces.
Okay. I put not a favorite, but I can listen to it as a last song. It fits, and I can listen to it, but it's a little bit lightweight structurally for my taste. So there you go.
So I like something more lightweight than you do.
In some cases.
I probably could just listen to Sandy Denny sing the Oscar Mayer Wiener song, and I'd be happy.
Yeah, the album that I'll pick by her is not going to be this lightweight.
Well, oh wow, I can't believe it. She's phenomenal. Well, anyway, I mean, he was in Fairport. She was too.
Yeah.
They were great. So if you think Fairport sucks, you suck. Right, Lee?
Yeah. You're not going to be sucking any of my candy, but you suck.
Yeah, you're going to suck on a fucking hot pepper, make your eyes blow out of your fucking head or something. But Fairport was great. Sandy Denny's great. This guy's about half good. No, he's better than half good. He's like 3/4 good. Yeah. And I actually did overall enjoy it. But for me, I can't get my fill of like too much mellow. And maybe if it cut a song or two, I probably would have been more engaged. But if I listened to it, like I said, the cherry pick method, listen to a few tracks here and there, and then move on to something else, it's still an enjoyable record. But just for me, in bits and pieces. But I've heard worse.
Yeah.
By far.
And
by far.
Yeah, and I do want to pick for the future at least one or two more things that he's involved in.
Yeah.
Maybe not solo stuff, but his heavy involvement.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I far from hated this album.
In fact,
I far from hated it. In fact, there was a couple songs I liked better than you did.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah, and then there was some stuff that I liked that. Yeah.
I thought it was weak, but I mean, that's the beautiful.
We should change that.
That's the beautiful. No, we shouldn't.
No. I'm the doctor, and what I say doesn't always go, and that's why I don't get paid. But anyway.
Yeah, you're the doctor, and I'm the professor. Who taught you how to be the doctor?
Yeah. Okay. I'll take that this time.
I didn't teach you anything. That's the beautiful thing.
You only taught me that you only taught me that you know some, not as much, but some more than I thought you would.
You knew it from the very first time we reviewed a fucking album when I hated damn Yankees. You were easy. It was too easy to figure it out right then and there. Yeah. There you go. We only like Pile Driver. That's it. Ted Nugent.
Yeah.
That's our weakness. Ted Nugent. That's what draws us together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And we did review fucking Free for All, as I recall.
Yeah. We need to review a better album. But anyway.
Double Live Gonzo.
That one, I have stories about it. But anyway, thank you, everybody. And I'll just say take care and bye-bye.
Bye.